coming at you from the Hey Yo Studios. It's the Fade Route with D and Z. Here are your hosts, D and Z.
Coming at you live from the Ayo Studio.
Ayo.
It's the Fade Route with D and Z. I am D. Got a great show for you tonight. Lakers kind of get embarrassed. Caitlin Clark is left off Team USA roster. And Rob Manfred has another issue with his Major League Baseball product. But we begin today's show with the showdown in the Bronx. The Dodgers and their fans with the New York Police Department escort have come to town, and they took it to the Bronx Bombers, winning 2 out of 3 with a blowout on Friday, blowout on Saturday, 11-3. They won on Friday, 2-1, and then the Yankees won 6-4 on Sunday. Yankees fans are losing their mind on social media. How are you feeling about the showdown in the Bronx?
June 7th, June 8th, June 9th. Not October 7th, not October 8th, not October 9th, not even November 7th, November 8th, or November 9th. Wake me up when we're out of June. In terms of big deal, little deal, no deal, this is no deal at all. What I find interesting, though, it's not who you expected to give you the agita. Right? You expect Mookie Betts, you expect Shohei Ohtani, you expect Freddie Freeman. You do not expect Teoscar Hernandez to light your ass up. You do not expect that. You've seen Teoscar Hernandez. You've seen what he was with the Blue Jays. You saw what he was with the Mariners. And then he comes in and he owns your ass. He owns you.
Excuse me, Coach. Do you have the scouting report on Teoscar Hernandez? Thanks. Let me just get that for a minute. Throw that away.
A live reenactment, ladies and gentlemen. A live reenactment.
Rip that shit up.
Jesus Christ. Come on.
What scout did we send on that trip?
Whoever it is, yeah, you're not getting paid.
What the hell are you doing?
You're not getting paid.
He's drinking, doing blow and hanging out with hookers the whole weekend?
You know, it's, to be fair, an extra inning nail biter in the first game and a laugher in the second game. Boone doing the right thing, putting Oswaldo Cabrera on the mound.
Why do you feel like that was the right thing? It was we only needed 3 more outs. Why can't we just have a competent pitcher just throw fucking strikes? Like, why did we have to look at that and watch that? You're telling me no relief pitcher could have done what Oswaldo Cabrera did? He wasn't even in the game. They brought him off the bench to do that.
The Yankee bullpen is not that good. It's not. I'm sorry. Clay Holmes, cardiac Clay. Even when they win, Schmitz was in the rotation too. Schmidt happened. So, I mean, you have Ian Hamilton who's going through a lull right now. You don't know which lefty is good. It's either Ferguson or it's Gonzalez. I think Gonzalez is the better of the two. Hamilton is going through it right now. You know, the Yankees are kind of, you know, as quietly as it's kept, and as much as you want to be sold on the fact that the Yankee bullpen is good, it's not that good. The Yankee bullpen is not that good. Now,
Schwarber should have bombed.
Of course he did. I mean, we'll talk about the London series eventually.
I think that's his second bomb of this game. I think he let off the game with a bomb.
Well, Schwarber hits the ball real far. He's Matt Stairs, but this generation.
Yeah, I was right. Yeah.
Also played for the Phillies. But, you know, the Yankees are doing what they can do. They're holding it together. Like the starting rotation is pitching above and beyond what you expected. If you told me at the beginning of the year you were going to get what you're getting from Rodon, you're getting what you're getting from Stroman, you got what you got from Clark Schmidt before he got hurt, if you would sign up for that, if you told me that Luis Gil could be a Rookie of the Year candidate,
Cy Young candidate.
Cy Young, Rookie of the Year. Possibly Cy Young. Possibly. Yeah. Definitely Rookie of the Year. Definitely Rookie of the Year. I would say cool. But the weak spot's Nestor Cortez.
Yeah.
When he's not doing his best Louis Tion, Nestor Cortez is very hittable.
Yep.
The good news for the Yankees is that they have reinforcements coming. Garrett Cole is on a rehab.
Yep. Actually, no, I think he's up.
So, but
I saw him in the dugout this weekend. He's up.
So, he's close. He's close. Now, Yankee fans, I completely understand where you're going to get concerned. DJ LeMahieu can't hit the broadside of a barn right now. Rizzo is regressing. Stanton is streaky. Stanton's always been streaky. Right? He'll hit 10 home runs and then he'll strike out 10 straight times.
Fun fact about Stanton, he is one of 2 active players that has hit a home run in all 30 Major League ballparks.
Huh. That is an interesting piece of trivia. That is a very interesting piece of trivia. Who was the other one?
Hold on. It's an obvious one too. Give me 1 second. It is. Oh, actually, it's not obvious. It's Manny Machado.
It used to be obvious. It once would have been obvious. Judge is doing his thing. Juan Soto, that's concerning. If he's going to miss an extended period of time,
he's back. He's playing. He's playing.
So, that inflammation in his forearm. You lost the series out of him. He's back. If he's back, that's fine. The Yankees do have some holes they need to fill. They have about 6 weeks till the trade deadline. Teams may start falling out of it unless they're in the National League. And we'll get to that in a second. But teams will start to fall out of it, and the Yankees can pick the bones, right? You can do addition by subtraction. You can do change of scenery. I mean, I know that, for example, the Cubs, they're kind of sour on their third base position. Like maybe you take a low-level prospect, a guy who's not really on the radar, and you send DJ LeMahieu to the Cubs. Maybe you do something like that. You sell low, and you let Oswaldo Cabrera play. Or you let him in a combination of him and John Birdie, or you go get a friggin' third baseman. Maybe you go get Arenado. If the Cardinals, I'm not convinced that they're going to sell yet. I'm not convinced yet. Give me 6 weeks. The Colorado Rockies, and maybe move Chris Bryant back to third. Who the hell knows? If the Yankees are willing to eat salary, I'm sure the Colorado Rockies will be like, take him. Take him. We'll even throw in Charlie Blackmon. We'll throw in Chuck Nasty. You can have anything you want. You can even have ownership in Coors. Whatever you need. But this is, if we're playing big deal, little deal, no deal, I would say absolutely no deal because of the calendar. You're getting your reinforcements. Rizzo needs to get right, 100%. You got to figure out third base. Absolutely right, 100%. Gleyber Torres is a butcher. He's an absolute butcher. What do you do with him? Bad error. It was bad. It was Luis Castillo bad. It was Dom Smith bad at first base. It makes you wonder, would the Mets and Yankees ever? I mean, they do trade from time to time. Would you trade Jeff McNeil for Gleyber Torres straight up? They're both really scuffling right now. It's really bad. Both of them are pretty damn bad.
I just don't think either guy has any value. There's no value. They're a kicker. There's no value. They missed out on he wanted too much for Gleyber 2 years ago. Yeah. That train he is a defensive liability. He can't hit the ball. It is just awful.
It's bad.
It's very bad.
Naturally, of course, the Mariners are interested. As always, the Mariners seem to be. So
you're saying there's a chance?
I'm saying there's a chance.
Yeah, I mean, for me, it's just another example of how tough that Dodger lineup is, right? I mean, I watched the game on Friday and the game on Saturday. Actually, no, I watched all the games. I watched Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. But Saturday was the blowout, and like I said, you find value in Cabrera coming in. I don't. I think that was just annoying, if anything. The Yankees should, like you said, throw out the scouting report they have on Teoscar Hernandez. You have an 11-3 game where you keep... Think about it this way. The game on Saturday, the final score was 11-3. In this game, they kept bets in check for the most part. Ohtani was okay. Freeman hit them up for some runs, but in all that, it's Teoscar Hernandez who hits 2 bombs and has 6 RBI. That's the problem.
Yeah.
With facing this team is you got to score runs. You're going to have to score runs. yeah, that's great. You got Garrett Cole. I'm sure he can give you 6-7 innings, sure. But he eventually going to come out. And you're going to have to get, though, at some point, you're going to have to get 3 out of those 5 guys out. It should, and then you throw in Will Smith in there, who's a damn good catcher.
I pegged him last year when we did our order up segment. I pegged him as the best catcher in the league.
He's wearing batting gloves now. He used to not wear batting gloves. Now he's wearing batting gloves. And he bats 4th for them, those motherfuckers.
Probably got tired of pissing on his hands.
He bats 4th in a team with Ohtani, Betts, Teoscar Hernandez, and Freeman. This guy bats 4th and 5th. Like, wow. That's what they think of him.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I Heel, yeah, he's good, but you gonna trust Heel in big spots? I don't know. Are you? Nestor, like you said,
I would trust him over Nestor.
Nestor is just like Riverside. When he's good, he's great. Riverside. When he's good, he's great. But oftentimes he's struggling. He still has a sub-4 ERA, so it's fine. Stroman, trust Stroman?
No, I've seen that.
You gotta understand that whatever guy you're throwing out there against those Dodgers, you gotta hope he goes 7. Otherwise, you're gonna trust your bullpen for 4 to 5 innings against these guys?
The Yankees were shot. They ran on Friday night. They ran out 6 pitchers because they had the guy that they brought up to replace Clark Schmidt, Cody Poteet, didn't even make it out of the 5th. So there you go.
The thing that the Yankees have in their favor is that, number 1, the Dodgers are in the National League, so whatever. And number 2, they're going to have to get through the Phillies and the Braves. And I don't know. I think that they'll definitely get through the Braves. I don't know if they can get through the Phillies. The Phillies are damn good. They're damn good. So, for as far as right now, it's really no deal. But, Rob Manfred did the Yankees a favor with it, making it so that every team plays every team, because now you have an idea. I mean, yeah, it's one thing to watch it from the East Coast and see what they're doing to like the Diamondbacks and the Giants, but for them to come into your house and put up 11 runs, beat you in a close game, and then really almost come back in the Sunday game, if Judge didn't hit a bomb to put them up 2.
Yeah.
And the other part was they were doing all this without Soto. Does Soto make a big difference? I don't really think so. But I don't know if the other people on this team are going to be able to keep up with the Dodgers team if everybody's healthy.
Well, right? Soto lengthens the order. I mean, you can't rely on Trent Grisham every day. Yes, Trent Grisham hit the home run, but Soto lengthens it.
Yeah, he lengthens the order, but it's literally just Judge and Soto, right? Are you scared? Are you really scared of anybody else? Are you really worried about pitching to Stanton? Are you really worried about DJ LeMahieu? Are you really worried about Volpe? You're not really worried about those guys. You're kind of worried, but you're not really worried. You're worried about 5 to 6 guys in the Dodger lineup that can all punish the baseball. And in some innings, you're gonna have to face all 3 of them. Have at it, Haas.
Yeah.
The best thing, I think the best recipe for dealing with and again, the Dodgers, they're one of 4 teams in the National League that are above 500, right? But you need a team that can bang the ball with them. Okay, Phillies. You need a team that has at least 2 guys that can go the distance, go 6 to 7, Phillies. And then you need a team that has a good bullpen, the Phillies. And that's why I really just think the Phillies are the team that's going to really give them a hard time. I can't really see
that? The Phillies bullpen imploded against the Mets in London.
Yeah, but
Alvarado is not. Alvarado is as shaky as Clay Holmes.
Man, you're going to talk to me about a game in London? Come on, man.
They count. They count just as much as anybody else.
Should they? They
do. They do. As much as a regular season game in the NFL does. They count.
That's garbage too.
I'm not saying it's not garbage, but you know what? They keep score.
Hot trash.
They keep score. But this series did underscore the fact that the Yankees do need to make a few tweaks. I'm not saying they need to make wholesale changes. You can't be reactionary and go into things with your hair on fire. It's not. The Yankees have a better fucking record than the Dodgers. As quietly as it's kept, they're 5 games better than the Dodgers. So let's be real here. If the sky is not falling.
No.
Yankee fans, relax. RELAX, as Mr. Aaron Rodgers once said. Calm the fuck down.
That guy didn't show up to mandatory camp today. But we'll talk about more baseball stuff. I just alluded to this. There are less than a handful of teams over 500 in the National League. There are exactly 4.
Jesus.
And that would be the Braves, Phillies, Dodgers, and Milwaukee Brewers, for those keeping score at home. And only 10 in all of baseball. Injuries, underperformance, super teams has Major League Baseball venturing into NBA territory. So if you're Rob Manfred, how do you fix this?
I got 2 words for you. Salary cap. Salary fucking cap. This is absolutely insane. The rich get richer, the poor have children. And we're going to be here a month from now talking about how the Pittsburgh Pirates sold their best player to the Yankees, or they sold their best player to the Braves, they sold their best player to the Phillies, and they're never going to get better. You like to talk about the wheel of mediocrity in the NBA? This is the wheel of mediocrity in Major League Baseball. Like a guy like David Bednar, who is an all-star and a pretty good pitcher, he'll probably end up on the fucking Yankees. Mm-hmm. Right? Aroldis Chapman, who's having an okay year, he's going to get moved. Anybody that has any kind of value on a lower market team is going to get flipped to a higher, bigger market. Because one, they can afford them, and 2, they're willing to drop the prospect capital. So, and they're willing or able to absorb money at the end of the day. They can outspend. The Yankees can afford to outspend mistakes. The Braves can outspend mistakes. Like, you absolutely have to be wary of that. What happened?
Right. No. Stupid play.
No, okay. But, that's a major issue. And you're leaning into, if you can't beat them, join them. So, the teams that can are... The teams that can't are going to get left to the wayside. So Rob Manfred, you got to get everybody in a room. You got to realize that all of these cosmetic rule changes aren't changing the fact that the haves have and the have-nots are feeders for the haves. And it's like it's 10 teams over 500. When you look at teams that are exactly 500 or better, it's only like 12. So that's fucking mediocre. That's absolutely terrible, and you have allowed this to happen. Right. This is not parody. This is absolutely, this is absolutely feast or famine. You got to fix it, and the only way I see to fix it is a fucking salary cap.
Well, let's be real. I mean, this is what aside from the recent changes, this is what baseball always was, right? It was that, once you hit the close to the trade deadline, teams like the Yankees go get Cecil Fielder, they get Jose Canseco, they all load up for their playoff run. The difference, though, Rob, is that you put in all these new rule changes that has affected the landscape of baseball. And when I mean rule changes, I mean like putting the runner on second. You think in extra innings, you think that doesn't have an effect, but that affects wins and losses. You've increased the amount of teams that make it into the playoffs. Now, this year, we're likely to see a sub-500 team make it into the playoffs, right? What you've also done is you've changed the way people are approaching building their teams. Because I need, certain a guy comes in from the bullpen, he has to pitch to a certain amount of players. You've added all these nuances into the game, and for every action there's a reaction. This is the reaction. This is what's happening. I think the DH in the National League has changed things, right? That was something that other teams used to their advantage, whether you batted the pitcher 9th or you batted him 8th, or there was the double switch. There was some strategy in playing. And that could be a win here and a loss there. You have all the teams playing everybody. So now the Dodgers are coming and playing the Yankees. Those are 2 losses the Yankees probably shouldn't have gotten right now, right? I mean, it's fair to say you're affecting the landscape of baseball, man. So you had 2 words for how to fix it. Salary cap. I have 1 word, and it's for Rob Manfred. Retire. Fucking retire, because you're destroying this sport. Like, this isn't this isn't the way baseball is supposed to be run. This is not the way baseball is supposed to look. You know, even me, like, I'm not a fan of teams that spend money and that's how they solidify their place in the standings. But that's way better than this garbage. This garbage. Like, you have the Chicago White Sox that are on pace to win only 41 games, Rob. That's not balance. That's rubbish. Your product, like you said, Z, is like, well, actually, like I said in the opening, it's starting to resemble the NBA, right? It's starting to look like that. Like, if I'm the Marlins, why bother? I ain't catching the Phillies. I'm not catching the Braves. Oh, wait, I can, because extra teams get into the playoffs. So now, when I should be a seller and try to build for next year, I'm going to start competing, and that's going to make me not win. It's going to take me longer to get into the dance.
I also think that the lack of a waiver deadline also helps seal these fates, because I'm looking at this, right? The Astros are 7 games under 500.
Crazy.
They're 5
and they just lost both. Didn't they lose both their pitchers?
Yeah.
They lost both their starting pitchers. Their season is done.
Urquidy and Javier, I think, are
yeah.
So,
God.
But they're only 5.5 games out. They're 5.5 games behind the Twins. The Twins are 4 games over 500. They're in that third wild card spot. The Giants are 1 game under 500, and they have the third wild card spot right now. You're looking at the Oakland A's. The Oakland A's are 10 games out.
They're trying to lose.
Right, and then what's going to happen? Here's the thing, but this is the thing. They have a young stud closer in Mason Miller, and they're already talking about trading him. Are you kidding me? This is on your watch, Rob. You have a potential flamethrower, right? You have you could potentially have the next great closer, fireballer. And what's going to happen? Like, he could be the guy. He could be one of those guys that is a linchpin of the Oakland experience, or Las Vegas, or Sacramento, wherever the hell they end up. And they're already talking about flipping him as a rookie. That's all you need to know. It's the embarrassment of riches. That, you know, like, he's linked to the Yankees. He's linked to the Braves. He's linked to the Phillies. Come on, like, what are we doing here? What are we doing here? To quote the great Taylor Twellman, what are we doing?
What we're doing is we're underperforming. And speaking of a team that's underperforming and has significant injuries and has tried to be a super team, meet the Mets. Meet the Mets. Everybody beats the Mets. But they did sweep the Nationals, and they split with the Phillies in London. But the Mets are 8 games under 500, but only 3 games out of the wild card, thanks to Rob Manfred. Owner Steve Cohen is keeping hope alive, saying the Mets can chip away and turn the season around in this year's National League. Is Cohen delusional, or is he accurate?
In this landscape, no. We've already talked about it. He's not delusional. You know, and they just got Francisco Alvarez back today. They just activated him today.
But isn't that the problem, right? That's the problem, right? Because in a normal baseball,
you punt. Normal. This is fourth down. Normally you punt.
You're punting. You're already creating plans for punting. You're looking at your prospects a little differently. You're moving people around. And now your window where you were 5 years away shrinks down to maybe 3 or 2 years away.
Right.
Now, because you feel like him, he's a super fan, right?
Yeah.
He doesn't like to lose. He is a competitor. He's looking at this as a fan, right? I have an obligation to my fan base to keep competing. So instead of being a seller, like I should be at the trade deadline, I'm going to either hang in too long and not get anybody, or I'm actually going to be a buyer and really fuck this up. And that's what I'm talking about, is that he's ruining the landscape of baseball. Like, you need a really good GM to step back and look at this. Okay, wait a minute. Let me put my Rob Manfred glasses on. All right, this is how good my team really is. Okay, not this bullshit that's running right now. Like, me getting in as a 7th seed does nothing for me. What I really need to do is I need to go back to the chalkboard, or go back to the whiteboard, or go back to the magnetic board, and see how I can get better for next year.
Well, that's the thing. It's this, you're in the situation where you're close. And they are close. The other team, the San Francisco Giants, are one game under 500. So the Mets are still within the realm, within striking distance. They're playing the Marlins this week. I'm going to the game on Thursday. So
that's exciting.
Yeah.
You love the Marlins.
Oh, the Marlins are great. Jazz Chisholm, Keith. Jazz Chisholm. Say it with me. Jazz Chisholm, not the other way around. So don't let it happen.
And here you wanted them relegated to you wanted them out of the league, and now you're going to go.
You know what? Let's do relegation. Let's talk about relegation. Major League Baseball should consider relegation. It works for the Premier League. That would be wonderful. Send them to AAA. Bring up the goddamn, bring up whoever, the New Orleans Zephyrs, bring up the Durham Bulls, whoever the fuck you want. I don't care. Bring up the Syracuse Mets. Have them play the New York Mets. I don't give a shit. So the thing is this: the Mets. The situation with the Mets is that they got caught betwixt and between. This is supposed to be a punt year, right? Now they started off dreadful, got hot, and now they're lying in the weeds. Diaz is hurt. That's a problem. Senga's hurt. That's a problem.
Senga ain't coming back, dude.
Senga's not coming back.
He ain't pitching this year. Guys, I'm good. You're good. I'm good. We're all good.
The bullpen is right? Diekman is terrible. Ottavino is terrible. Don't tell me Adam Ottavino is any good. You're a fucking liar. I'm gonna tell you that right now. Adam Ottavino is not good. So Reed Garrett is closing for you. Let's be real here.
Who?
Exactly. Now I know our buddy Vinny was texting, "Why are we watching the game?" Because we're fans. It's what we do. Like this is why we watch the games. We're fans of the game of baseball. Is what we do. So that's why we watch the games. Alonso, if they're close enough, they're going to keep him, and he's going to walk. That's the situation. Now,
if you do that,
if you believe the reports, he already rejected a contract extension. If he's looking at a $200 million contract, he ain't getting it. I'm sorry, he's just not getting it. And Scott Boras, shame on you if this happens again. Right? It's bad enough last year happened. Now you're going to screw over Pete Alonso. Now you're going to screw him over.
No, I disagree with you there. I do think there's a team out there that will give Pete $200 million.
And regret it?
I don't know if they're going to regret it. I don't think so. I think if a team like the Cubs got him, they think they'd be very satisfied with his services, especially if they lose out in the Soto sweepstakes. Think about Minnesota. They were not able to get Aaron Judge, but they got Correa, and they're like, all right, we'll take this. This works, and we got him on a discount. That works. He's
30 though. He's sneaky old. How long are you willing to go for a guy like Pete Alonso? I don't think 8 years. I don't think you go 8 years for a guy like Pete Alonso.
But you'd go 6, right?
I would start at 5 with an option. I think 5.
3?
5 with an option after 3. Yeah, wow. I think that would be fair. Now,
I think there's a market for him. I do. I think there's a market for him. I wouldn't even be surprised if the Giants got in on that.
That ballpark's going to eat him alive, though. Right-handed batters go to die in San Francisco.
I forgot he's a righty.
Yeah.
He's a righty.
I mean, Minnesota's a big ballpark, too. And I don't know.
You don't want to play in Minnesota. You don't want to play in Seattle. Maybe
what would
Texas.
be How about this?
Astros,
the Boston Red Sox.
Yeah, but I don't know. Does he want to deal with the monster? Some people don't like.
He'll hit it over the monster.
Yeah,
he hits it. He's a pull hitter. He will hit it over the monster.
That'd be a good fit for him.
Alonso it's a question mark. Jeff McNeil is a net negative. Jeff McNeil was a fucking batting champ. He won the batting title 2 seasons ago. 2, and now he's getting he's getting benched for Jose Iglesias. Jose Iglesias can't hit. He can't hit. He can hit less than Jeff McNeil can. The difference is Jose Iglesias is a Gold Glove caliber fielder. So if you are not hitting, you better bring something to the table. And what is Jeff McNeil bringing to the table? Temper tantrums. Temper tantrums. That's what he brings to the table. So you really you're hanging your hat on Brandon Nimmo, who's not a cleanup hitter. He's a leadoff hitter. right? Lindor's in the leadoff spot. He should be in the 2.
Shitty.
He's been terrible.
Fielding's been shitty this
Brandon
year.
Nimmo, since he got paid, has been terrible. Now, I really, a part of me thinks it's the move to left field. You move him back to center field, I think his defensive metrics grade better. Like, they stuck him in left because of Harrison Bader. You serious? Really? Harrison Bader?
Where is Harrison Bader? I haven't seen him in a while.
Yeah, he's there. He's there. He crushes left-handed pitching. So, he has a role. You have Bader, you have Tyrone Taylor, you have Marte, who's graded as one of the poorest outfielders in the league. Like, that's a major defensive underperformance. Like, Starling Marte started out great. Lindor has major league regressed. Is he going to get on his equatorially hot streak? It's coming soon. That train's never late. He'll hit 350, and you'll forget about the fact that he was hitting 190. And then, this is what the Mets are. But that's the thing. It's the little girl with the curl. And this is due to Rob Manfred. We're not out. We can win this thing. It's you like to say I'm delusional. They make you delusional. Major League Baseball has given you hope. Major League Baseball has sold you on hope.
You ain't lying.
No,
you ain't lying.
That secondary waiver, that secondary waiver period in August, that was for the teams that hung on and said, "Fuck, we regressed. Let's just get rid of everybody."
Right.
So that helped. That used to help. Now, you either shit or get off the pot. In July, there's still half a season to play. Like, how are you supposed to have that kind of forethought? Yes, the Marlins and the White Sox, I understand that. Meanwhile, the White Sox are so, you want to talk about delusional, they want a Juan Soto package for Luis Robert.
Yeah.
No, you're not getting that level of prospect haul that the Nats got for Juan Soto when they traded him to San Diego. You're not getting that for Luis Robert. I'm sorry, I hate to break that to you, but Juan Soto and Luis Robert are... this is the only way they're mentioned in the same sentence. So, there you go. Sorry. But, this is where the Mets are. Can they get better? Yes. At their detriment, probably. If they jettison McNeil, maybe you call up Luis Angel Acuna and you see what you got. Maybe you call up a guy like Drew Gilbert if you get rid of Starling Marte. You see what you got. The Yankees are in a similar boat with Anthony Rizzo. If they cut bait with him, there's a guy in AAA ready to go. There's a prospect in AAA. Maybe this is the route you go. But it's too early. And Rob Manfred has made it such that there's still hope. Thank you for that. I appreciate that, but I also don't want my guts ripped out. Like, that's the problem. I just don't.
Do you want one? Yeah. Do you want one to the head or one into the chest?
It's the death of 1,000 paper cuts. That's what it's become. The death of 1,000 paper cuts. Just put me out of my misery quick.
Right. I don't want to bleed out.
Just quick.
Put me down.
Just quickly.
Avoid messy accidents. Get better stopping power with your brake pads. Callahan brake pads. You never know when you'll be driving in the road and there will be a truck tire that you need to avoid and save your family. Callahan Auto. We really care about what's under your hood.
But turning over to basketball, and we're actually not going to talk about the NBA Finals, well, not really. The Lakers managed to upstage the series by leaking reports that they plan to offer UConn coach Dan Hurley a huge contract to coach their basketball team. Allegedly, this had the blessing of GM and team president LeBron James. But Hurley made his decision, and he will not be taking his talents to Hollywood. So what does this mean for the Lakers?
Call JJ Redick back? I don't know what to tell you. Dan Hurley, he has a 6-year contract with UConn. They were offering him a 6-year contract for about $70 million, and he turned it down. So kudos to Dan Hurley for not making it about the money. And let's be real here. Dan Hurley's a feisty guy. We'll be nice and say he's feisty. passionate, psychotic, like whatever, however you want to think about it. Having him go to LA, having him go to the NBA at this point in his career, I don't think that's such a hot idea. I really don't think so. Especially for a team like the Lakers.
Wait a minute, so you're saying you don't think he should go to the NBA at this point in his career, or he shouldn't go to the Lakers at this point in his career?
I don't think he should go to the NBA yet. I don't yet.
If not now, then when? Like, what does he have to accomplish? He's already won 2 national titles. What does he have to do? Like, what does he have to do? I mean, didn't Billy Donovan made the jump after 2, right?
And he struggled. Struggled.
He's still a good coach.
He's still in the league. He's in the league with the Bulls. But when he went to the Magic, it was not great. And you think he was with the Thunder? It was not great.
But if Billy Donovan went to the Lakers, would he have been better off than with the Magic?
No, because the Crucible is much different in LA than it is in Orlando. Like that's my concern with Dan Hurley, is that he would burn. I made this comparison on our X account at FadeRouteDNZ. Dan Hurley reminds me a lot of Jim Harbaugh. He'll come in, he'll be that guy, he'll grind you into the ground, he'll grind himself into the ground, and then he's out. Like, that's what I see.
I just don't know what job, like, you're hoping to get to go to the NBA. Like, is that what you're trying to say? Like, you'd rather have a low expectation dumpster fire team? That's what you want to come in to coach in the NBA? You want to go from being a national champion to coaching the Bobcats or coaching the Hornets? Like, that's what you want? You don't want to come in and coach one of the 10 best players in the league? Like, is that what you're trying to say here?
I would say wait a year, wait for Memphis to jettison their coach, and now I'm coaching Ja Morant. I'd rather coach Ja Morant, who might actually receive coaching, than LeBron James, who's waiting to stab me in the back. Like, that's my concern.
So I get what you're saying. All right. I mean, I can get on
it's
board
LeBron
with that.
more than anything. LeBron and the LA market scare the shit out of me. And I don't think that a guy like Danny Hurley is built for that. I don't think so. I think he's built for a smaller market or a less glitzy job. Like, if it was the Sacramento Kings, okay. Even if it was the Clippers, I'd be all right. Could you imagine? I could see that working.
I don't really know. He'd have to go to a team where the players want to be coached like that. And I don't know a lot of places where they have that. Like, unless he changes his coaching style. He might come in and be different and be more of a tactician and less fiery. Like we talked about this a couple years ago when the Jets, hired Robert Saleh. He's a rah-rah guy. But that's not what a head coach should be. A head coach needs to be like, all right, I got to make rational decisions here. Yeah, you could get fired up and yell at the refs, but you can't be going to your players like that. You can't, there's a certain line of respect, right? You can't be like, what was it? The guy, PJ Carlissimo, motherfucking everybody.
Right.
Because they're going to choke you. Like, these are professional basketball players. The only thing I would say is I do feel like he has a good basketball mind. I think he could X's and O's with LeBron. I do think that part would work. The rah-rah stuff, no. But I do think he knows basketball. I think he could talk X's and O's. The only thing I would say about you, okay, I get what you're saying. Wait for the Ja Morant opportunity. In that situation, you're still coaching the Memphis Grizzlies. Are you going to be able to beat the Timberwolves? Are you going to be able to beat the Clippers? Like, to me, if I'm coming in, I'm going to know where I stand. I'm always going to be able to go back to college, right?
Yeah,
I'm always going to be able to go back to college no matter what, right? So if what he's saying is true and what he says is I really want to try out the NBA, like I really want to give it a shot. Like Tom Izzo was offered a bunch of times to go to the Pistons and he never went. He's a college coach. Cool. We know that our Paisan who coaches St. John's, he came up to NBA.
Yeah.
Wasn't for him. We know Calipari. He's a college coach. The NBA is not for him. So Mike Krzyzewski, another guy, offered the Lakers a job when Kobe was there. Not interested. And I'm going to stay here. I'm going to, finish my career in Duke. So if you're going to stay now in UConn, just stay.
Right.
Just stay. Because the Laker job, while you might not have success there, it will open other doors for you in the NBA if that's where you want to be.
But
we talked about this.
Hang on, one sec. But is that
Yeah.
the Lakers or is that being LeBron James's toady? At this point in career,
I don't really know, because I do think he can talk with LeBron. I think he can talk X's and O's with LeBron, and they could work things out together.
Because Ty Lue had his stamp of approval, and I think that's why Ty Lue got where he's gotten. I mean, yes, Ty Lue is a qualified coach, but he also has like the LeBron seal of approval on it. So I don't know where one ends and the other begins. Is my thing.
Like, I really don't think Darvin Ham was the X's and O's guy that LeBron demands. I don't think in the beginning Eric Spoelstra was, but I think Eric Spoelstra eventually got there, and that's where there was a mutual respect, and it worked.
Well, he also had Pat Riley in his corner telling LeBron to shut the fuck up.
Possibly.
I think it's.
But I'm just saying, like, to me, if I'm gonna come into the league from college, I want a chance. LeBron gives me a chance. I don't think Ja Morant gives me the same chance. Jimmy Butler gives me a chance. I don't know if another team does that. I don't know if there's other teams that can give me the chance.
I got one in the Eastern Conference. The Cavaliers fired JB Bickerstaff. They were 4th in the Eastern Conference. It's an easier track. It's the Eastern Conference. So if you're Dan Hurley and you're weighing the scenario, I don't have to climb over Denver. I don't have to climb over Phoenix. I don't have to climb over Minnesota. I don't have to climb over the Warriors. I just have to get past the Knicks, the Celtics, and the Bucks. Don't know. I don't know. That's a great question. I don't know, but it's available. And Jimmy Bickerstaff got done. He got done dirty.
Like the Suns. To me, the Suns' job's appealing. I got 3 stars. I got 3 players. Yeah. I can coach if I believe in myself to be able to coach basketball, right?
Yeah.
I don't want a shit situation. I want a situation where I know that I got a shot.
Well, if the Pistons call you, you hang up.
Yeah. Who this?
This is Trajan Langdon.
Who? Yeah. So that's where I am with that. But.
So where do you think? Who do you think though? Is it James Borrego or is it JJ Redick or like who's getting this job?
LeBron, just give the job to LeBron. Let him do it. He's change the rules. Let him be the player coach of this fucking team, and let's move on. No, I think
the breakaway suit and just like
I think Sam Cassell deserves it. Yeah. I think I'm not a JJ Redick guy. That would actually be the biggest letdown of my podcasting career if JJ Redick becomes the head coach of the Lakers, because that's just garbage.
And what happens to their podcast? Because LeBron and JJ have their podcast. Are they going to do it?
Yeah. Well, that's the whole thing. Is like, what's JJ's angle in this? Is it really for him to be the head coach of the Lakers, or is it to become a producer and have his own business?
Right.
And I think that's what's going on behind the scenes. I think really that's what this was all about. I don't know if they really wanted Dan Hurley. I think there was talks with JJ, and JJ wanted stupid money, and they're like, okay, let's get Dan Hurley here, and let's see if we can get him for peanuts. Let's see what's if he really wants this job, because I think with JJ is he's making good money doing his podcast. He's making good money with ESPN. Why would you leave that? What, you really? Because he also, I'm pretty sure he auditioned for the Orlando job too. I don't know. Is that really what he wants to do? I don't believe it. And I can't see that. I can't see that coexisting. You're gonna listen to JJ Redick in the huddle? You're Anthony Davis. You're gonna listen. This guy played how many years of professional basketball and only dunked once? What the fuck are you doing?
Right. I mean, Steve
You
Nash
played on Lob City, asshole.
Yeah. You mentioned Steve Nash. Steve Nash doesn't even get sniffs anymore. He doesn't get phone calls. Like, why is that?
Oh, you like that? You like that post?
I find that was very interesting. You got guys. You got some gems on this X here.
How do you just coach the Nets and then all of a sudden disappear? Like, what the fuck? Same thing with the dude who coached LeBron, the Russian dude.
David
Where'd
Blatt.
he go?
He went back to.
Where's David Blatt? Where he?
Tel Aviv. He went back to Israel. He did it. I wish I was kidding.
That's it. That's it, dude. You're out.
Yeah.
You're out.
He went back I think he went back to Maccabi Tel Aviv.
Need a little inspiration in the kitchen? Want to try something new? Or maybe you just need a new YouTube cooking show to binge? Well, I have the answer for all three. As You Eat It, hosted by me, Z. I invite you into my home and show you methods designed to empower and inspire you in the kitchen. Cook how you want to cook, eat how you want to eat, eat as you eat it. That's As You Eat It, available only on YouTube. AZ, You Eat It. Check it out and let's get cooking.
All right, let's move on. Let's talk a little women's basketball because I know you love it. We can say au revoir to Caitlin Clark. Clark has been left off the Olympic roster, and that decision is stirring up a lot of controversy everywhere. Clark defenders are citing Christian Laettner as the precedent for putting her on and chastising USA Basketball for not wanting to grow the game. Are they on to something? What are you feeling about? Because I know you're a big Caitlin Clark fan.
No, actually not a Caitlin Clark fan.
You're not a Caitlin Clark fan anymore? Last week.
I haven't been a Caitlin Clark fan. Now, I'm a realist when it comes to Caitlin Clark.
Okay, good.
I think it's important to know.
Most people aren't. Most people think she's the second coming.
And that's, no. Like, in this league, she's done ugats. And that's the thing.
She had 10 points last night in a blowout.
Now, she also, she is entitled to be a rookie in the WNBA. This is the path that she has chosen. And she's getting her shit wrecked by veterans. Right? That's what veterans have chosen to do.
Girls could be so mean.
They've chosen violence.
Girls could be so mean.
So, WNBA is a physical league. The WNBA is a physical league. And that's
Which
not
I
just...
like about it.
That's just not on... That's not on just Caitlin Clark. You know, Candace Parker, when she first got in the league, she was getting bodied all the time. And even so, today, it doesn't matter who you are. It doesn't matter who you are. You're getting the lumber. And I respect that. I respect that a lot. But she still needs to grow and develop. She's also probably exhausted, right?
Yeah.
She had the women's Final Four, then the draft, then training camp, then the season. Right? Word. That's it. Boom. Boom. She's on a hamster wheel. So... at some point, she needs a breath. Now, in a blowout loss, fans chanting, "We want Caitlin," that does her no good. In a blowout loss, let her get some rest and let her kind of collect herself a little bit. Because the Connecticut Sun have her number. The Connecticut Sun,
they're a well-coached team. Yeah. They know. Come on, we talked about this. She has flaws in her game. She had them in college. You know, she's brought them to the WNBA, and good teams, good coaches, are going to take advantage of those things, especially if you're showing that you're very sensitive to aggressive play. We're going to be aggressive with you. The times that she had the biggest trouble is in college, where when teams were aggressive with her. She doesn't like that. It gets her off her spot.
My question is this: who were you leading off to put her on? Right? Let's think about this. Right? They cite the Christian Laettner rule. Who was off so Christian Laettner could be on?
Probably Isaiah.
Isaiah Thomas. Isaiah fucking Thomas. That's who.
Yeah.
So, and Christian Laettner, what did he do on the Dream Team? He got their Gatorade for them. Let's be real here. Christian Laettner did jack shit on that team.
The only thing I would say, Z, and I think you would agree with me, Christian Laettner was a lot more deserving to be on that team than Caitlin Clark.
Deserves.
He's probably the best college basketball player of all time, and he came off, I believe, I want to say 2 championships
in Duke. Yeah.
I mean,
deserves is hard for me to say, right? Because you have a guy like
I'm saying you compare what Christian Laettner did in college to why he got on the Olympic team compared to what Caitlin did in college and the argument for her going on the team.
Right.
That's not the same. That's not the same thing, man. It's just not, And again, I mean, I'll talk about this every week. Diana Taurasi, way better WNBA player. Like in college and when she got to the pros, chick won gold medals, chick won championships. She changed the dynamic of the team that she went to. Magic Johnson, when he came to the NBA, Kareem could not play center in Game 7. I'll play center. Had a triple-double and won the NBA championship. He won the NBA championship and the NCAA championship all in the same calendar year. That's a difference maker. That's what everybody has put on this poor woman. I'm starting to feel bad for her because she is not as good as everybody is prompting her up to be. She's good.
Yes.
I'm not saying she's bad. She's good. I had this argument with my mother, but she's not as good as everyone's trying to push her to be at this stage. Maybe in 5 years, maybe in 4 years, but right now, no. She's just another WNBAer, right?
Mm-hmm.
I actually think the girl who went to Chicago is having a better rookie year.
Angel Reese is having a better year.
Yeah, she's having a better year.
Statistically, yes. But they also play two different positions.
100%.
Caitlin Clark is a point guard who probably shouldn't be a point guard, and Angel Reese is a power forward. So, but that's the question.
Angel Reese is on a better team.
Yes,
she is on a better team, but
the Indiana Fever were the worst team in the league last year. They could be the worst team with Caitlin Clark.
But Reese is more positively affecting her team than Caitlin Clark is at this juncture, unfortunately. It's just the truth.
Oh, of course. Now it begs the question, right? Let's play devil's advocate here. We'll put Caitlin Clark on. We're on the selection committee, and we're gonna who are we taking off? Right? Because immediately everybody's like, "Oh, why is Brittany Griner on the team?" Brittany Griner's the only big you got. She's 6'9". Who else is? 6'5", I think, is the next size, is the next tallest person. Mm-hmm. You can't be sacrificing your bigs for another guard. I'm sorry. Not in the WNBA game where physicality still rules. So Brittany Griner, that's not a question. Who? Taurasi? On the international stage, I'm taking the experience of Diana Taurasi. Right? Brianna Stewart? A former WNBA MVP? No. Sabrina Ionescu? No. But who are you taking off? A legitimate argument. A legitimate question. Who are you taking off to put her on? It's not hating. It's not hating when you have that many guards.
They're deep.
They're deep and they're
good. But they're also good. They're good. There's nobody there. It's like you're not lighting it on fire this year, girl. Your team, I think, only has 1 or 2 wins. You're not lighting it up. You're not deserving of it. Now, if you came in and you were lighting the world on fire, and you took this Fever team that was terrible, and maybe you're 500. Okay, now we're talking. If you made this transition from from college to the WNBA seamlessly, picking right up where you left off, dropping 30, 40 points a game, okay, cool. But you're not.
No, you're not Alyssa Thomas. You're not Asia Wilson. You're not Kelsey Plum. You're not there. You're not there.
You're not Candace Parker.
No.
Man. Candace Parker.
You're not Cheryl Swoops.
Forget. You're not. You're not Cheryl Miller, who's probably better than all the people we've been mentioning.
Yeah. No, and I think we need to pump the brakes here. We as a society.
It's not fair to her. In the beginning, I was upset with her. I'm not upset with her anymore. I'm upset with the NBA. I'm upset with the WNBA because they put this shit on blast. They chose her to be their marketing tool. They chose her to be their ticket to sell 20,000 seat arenas and tote her around like she was a freak in the circus. And that's not fair to her for her rookie year. It's not fair. It's just not fair. She deserved it to have it just why do it this year? Why not let her get her feet wet, sell out the stadiums that she goes to, and next year promote the shit out of it.
Right.
Like, let her get it under her belt. Let her get that opportunity.
Right. I mean, think about this. Let's compare.
Because you've pissed off every other girl in the NBA that's been working there, every other woman in the NBA that's been working their ass off the last 5, 6, 7, 8 years. Oh, now we get to play in the 22,000 arena because of this girl? Oh, really? Okay, let's see what she got, because I'm playing extra hard tonight.
Right.
She ain't getting anything up tonight.
Completely.
I'm hip checking her tonight. She gonna know I've been in the league a lot longer than her. She gonna know that I should be on that WNBA Olympic team, not her. She's gonna figure that out tonight. Like, that's what you put into this. They don't realize it. They don't realize that they've done this, and it's not fair. It's not fair.
No, it's not fair to her at all. But juxtapose and compare generational talents, air quote, generational talents, right? The number 1 overall pick was Wembanyama. The number 1 overall pick was Caitlin Clark. Caitlin Clark is immediately thrust into the crucible, and now she's on an international stage. Wembanyama has had a year to kind of prove who he is. Like, it is absolutely unfair. You're absolutely right. It's unfair to put these levels of expectations on her when she's still growing and developing. Now, that's the nature of sport. I agree. But, we've experienced this before. Bryce Harper, LeBron James. The worldwide leader anoints you the next one, whether you're ready or not. So they were anointed. She had that offer from the Big 3 league, which thank God she didn't take. Thank God she's getting bodied by grown ass women. Imagine what grown ass men would do. Like, that's a reality. That's an absolute reality. Like, physicality level has ratcheted up a notch. We as fans, we need to slow our roll. We need to pump the brakes here, and we need to get back to where things used to be. Right? This idea of we want Caitlin when there's a blowout loss, like that does her no good. All you're doing is, you're treating her like an entertainer, and it's becoming more entertainment than sports.
Right.
And
circus.
I think that we have to kind of slow our roll, dial it back, and realize these are human beings. Much like entertainers are human beings, right? Actors, actresses, pro wrestlers, whoever. Professional athletes are human beings. Like, they're flawed. They need to work on things. Nobody's perfect. And, it's important to know that we don't own them. Just because you buy a ticket to the game doesn't give you the right to demand that they're on the court. That's not fair. Let this woman develop. Let this woman grow. There will be other Olympians. They're not canceling the Olympics. She doesn't have to be at this one. Let her rest up and watch her shine with just a little bit of rust. She's doing okay. Let her get her feet wet. Let her get her feet under her. We still haven't yet.
You can't help but smile when you see a balloon. The simplest occasion is a party. Westchester Pop Stars, located in New Rochelle, New York, offers balloon styling and decor for all life's events. Birthdays, anniversaries, weddings, showers, school and corporate events, store openings, or just because. Westchester Pop Stars takes balloons and shapes them into works of art, creating decorative installations for your special occasions. No event is too big or too small, and their custom personalization service is top-notch. Westchester Pop Stars is a private studio, quickly expanding. In-person consultation is by appointment only. Send an email to westchesterpopstars@gmail.com for more information or to schedule an appointment. No need to hire an event stylist. All you need is balloons. Currently servicing Westchester, Putnam, New York City, and Connecticut. To find Westchester Pop Stars, search for them on Instagram, Facebook, or Google.
Bullshit or no shit? We're going to debate this week's most controversial sports topics right now. All right, boys and girls, we have a statement, and it's either bullshit or no shit. Bullshit or no shit, number one, Jaylen Brown is the Celtics' best player.
Is Jaylen Brown the Celtics' best player? They're kind of taking turns, right? I mean, I feel like game one was probably Jaylen Brown, game two is Drew Holiday, or maybe game one might have been Porzingis. Could be argued, right?
Don't get me started. You're trying to piss me off.
I'm gonna say bullshit. I think the real difference is Drew Holiday. So I'm going to say he's their MVP right now. Just what he's able to do from a defensive standpoint, facilitating the basketball, and he makes beautiful cuts to the basket and scores. So that's what I'm going with.
It's absolute bullshit. Jason Kidd tried a little Jedi mind trick on Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown, trying to kind of use the media to get them at each other and see how well it worked. It didn't work at all. Sorry, Jason. A good try. Bully for you. Bully for you. But you're right.
Real quick on this. I mean, we really didn't talk too much about the NBA, but am I the only one that gets the feeling that Luka is not Dirk? Like, really? Like, think about that. Like, he's not Dirk. Like, Dirk took on Dwayne Wade, LeBron James, Chris Bosh. Yeah, he had a solid cast around him, but he took it to another level. He was not going to be denied. And I kind of got that feeling when I watched the game too, where Luka, as good as he is, he had 20 points in the first. He had 20 points, I believe, in the first half, and then he finished only with 29 points in the game. Like, he's just not Dirk. He's not Dirk, and that, I think, hurts him. What are your thoughts on that?
I mean, Dirk is one of a kind, right? He was a big that could shoot at that level. Now, Luka's a different player. He is definitely more physical than Dirk was. Like, he needs to kind of feel that. I mean, that being said, he has combined for 62 points in the first two games. So they're letting him get his.
I just want to remind you that the Dirk I'm talking about went through Kobe in the first round, that Thunder team with Westbrook and Harden in the second round, and then he took out LeBron James and company in the finals. Like, that's the Dirk I'm talking about.
Yeah, and Luka has not played anybody near that caliber.
Nope. He's good.
Yeah, but he's not good. He's good. I'm saying he hasn't played anybody near that caliber. You're talking about legends. Yeah. You're talking about legends of the game and the Oklahoma City Thunder. So, there's something to be said there. Like, and Luka will get there. Like, he's done it, right? He did it on the international stage, and he's doing his. He's holding up his end of the bargain offensively. Defensively, he's a minus. He's a minus. He's doing his part offensively. So it's who else can step up? Can Kyrie deliver more than 16 points a game? He's going to have to. Is PJ Washington going to get you more than 17? He's going to have to. Somebody else has to step up. It can't just be Luka scoring 64 points and then everybody else is in the teens. So that's where this comes from. right? And it was a good attempt at a Jedi mind trick by Jason Kidd, kind of sow dissent and kind of get players thinking a little bit, but it didn't work because, Drew Holiday came in and he took care of business. Now, Drew Holiday, he's the X factor. You don't want to say Porzingis, fine, you say Porzingis. But Drew Holiday plays defense, he facilitates the offense. What the hell was Milwaukee thinking when they jettisoned him in conference? We scratched our heads when they did it, right? Oh, Dame Lillard, yeah, okay, sure, but you didn't need to trade Drew Holiday. It didn't need to happen, and it did. And now the rest of the Eastern Conference is paying for it. And it wouldn't surprise me if Drew Holiday actually is the best player on this team, because he is on both ends of the court. Bullshit or no shit number 2. Kristaps Porzingis' monster return in Game 1. Monster mentioned, said by the worldwide leader.
I thought it was. I'm going to say no shit. I did not expect him, especially when I saw he wasn't starting. I was like, oh, man. And then all of a sudden, he couldn't miss. And then he was swatting shit away. I do think he took Dallas by surprise in that game. So I'm going to say no shit.
Bullshit. Absolute bullshit. 20 points, a single double. A single double is not.
At least he's not getting a triple single like Draymond used to get.
Yeah, well, yeah, triple singles are a problem. A single double is bad. And guess what? He's hurt again. As predicted by who? This guy right here. So he has some mysterious rare leg injury, and he's going to possibly be out till Game 5. Let the buyer beware on Kristaps Porzingis. How many times do we see it with the Knicks? How many times do we need to see it with the Mavericks? How many times do we need to see it with the Wizards? Let the buyer beware on this guy. There's nothing monster about him. Absolutely nothing. 20 points, great. A lot of NBA players can roll out of bed and score 20. Some of them do. So whoop-de-fucking-do. He scored 20 points. Absolutely not a needle mover. Bullshit or no shit number 3. The Stanley Cup Finals are more about Connor McDavid's legacy than the Florida Panthers.
I think it's changing. I think it started out that way, but now after a 4-1 victory, I think we're all appreciating the Florida Panthers a little bit more, especially when people think back to last year. So I'm going to say bullshit on this one.
I gotta go bullshit as well. Now, it's certainly a storyline, right? Connor McDavid's legacy is certainly a storyline in his first Stanley Cup, could potentially be his only Stanley Cup. You don't know how things work out, right? Dan Marino got to the Super Bowl and thought he would get back. He never made it back. So
crazy.
Yeah, who's to say, right? Jim Kelly made it to 4 consecutive. Sports is a cruel mistress. Sports will rip your heart out and mercilessly stomp on it. That's what happens. Speaking of mercilessly stomping on things, that's what the Florida Panthers do. They wreck your shit. Now, they play on the edge, again, on the verge of dirty. On the verge. But defensively, they have managed to shut down the vaunted offense of the Edmonton Oilers.
Yeah.
How do you adjust? You're going home. Now you figure you're going to get some favorable calls. You figure some things are going to start going your way. Can you expect a role player like Rodriguez to score on the road? He didn't. He didn't against the Rangers. He didn't show. I mean, he played very well defensively, and he was in on the forecheck, but he didn't register a point. He didn't register a goal against the Rangers.
It's their ability to kill the penalty that's really just. So you can't really say they play so well together.
No, they play that tight box. Kill. That tight box is so hard to break through. You need to be able to get in there and disrupt their timing. You need to get in there and disrupt their space. And even if you do, you have Bobrovsky there. Like, you saw Bobrovsky for 1 goal. You're being outscored 7-1. So, back to the drawing board on that. Now, the Florida Panthers, it can't just be that they want it more than everybody else, because you're there, right? Everybody wants it at this stage of the year. That's why you're there. But the physicality and what they're getting away with is very interesting. And we'll see how long that keeps going, how far the line will extend. We'll definitely see. You figure that McDavid, Draisaitl, Nugent Hopkins, Darnell Nurse, like, the stars will shine. Evander Kane, these guys will show up. You figure these guys will show up in Edmonton. It's where they go from there. Because you know what you're getting from the Panthers. Disciplined, chippy hockey, and everybody's buying in. Now's the time. Leave it all on the line. This is what you've worked so hard to accomplish. There's no point in holding back now. Full throttle all the way. That's what's going to get you to the promised land. The Panthers figured it out. Edmonton needs to figure it out. And McDavid's legacy will take care of itself. It's out of his control at the end of the day. What will happen in the future will happen in the future. Focus on one shift, one play at a time. And that's how you can change the course of your legacy.
Your favorite podcast has its own merch line now. Go to the Fade store with DNZ.com today for all your Fade Route merch needs. I'm talking tank tops, t-shirts, sweatshirts, like yoga pants, we got those too. Like some cool accessories, we got those too. And we're not done yet. We have so much more planned for you, but check out what we have today at the Fade store with DNZ.com. That's the Fade store with DNZ.com. The Fade Store presents the Alleged Superstar of the Week Award. Alright, boys and girls, you know what time it is. It's time for the Alleged Superstar of the Week. We put up a poll on our X account at FadeRouteDNZ and our Instagram poll at FadeRoute Podcast, and you vote. And you vote, and you vote, and you vote. And the winner of said poll gets a shout out on this here show and takes home the coveted ass trophy. And do you know who took home the coveted ass trophy last week, D?
I don't.
Major League Baseball. For covering up the Mitsuhara. Nice. For covering up Mitsuhara's guilty plea. So it looks like it's over with. It looks like that's been fully swept under the rug and the cover-up is complete. But hey, whatever. We just got to see Shohei in the Bronx. But that was last week. This is this week. Who are your nominees for Alleged Superstar of the Week, D?
All right, so first up, I've got your boy, Kyrie Irving.
Oh, my boy.
Dallas is down 2-0 in this series, and honestly, he really hasn't been that much of a factor. I mean, we have Game 1, 12 points. Game 2, 16 points. That's just not going to get it done. You and Luka need to combine for like a plus 60 to even have a chance. So, Kyrie Irving, you are my alleged superstar of the week. And number 2, I'm going with Connor McDavid. This is supposed to be your coming out party. You finally got to the Stanley Cup Finals. I know it's your first time there, but you're also the best player in the league. I think you got 1 point in the last game, but you got only 3 shots on goal in game 1, 6 shots on goal in game 2. They're shutting you down. You need to take this over. You're coming home. Let's see if you can get out of the Legend Superstar of the Week. But for right now, you are my Legend Superstar of the Week. And last but not least, I got Kevin Biggio. Kevin with a C. DFA'd by the Blue Jays, the son of Hall of Famer Craig Biggio, slashing just 200, 323, and 614 this season. Ew.
That's bad.
Ew. Kevin Biggio, you are my alleged superstar of the week. What do you got, Z?
The Toronto Blue Jays have been a massive disappointment. Now, Alec Manoah is out for the year. Kevin Biggio DFA. Rumors are swirling that the Cubs have quietly discussed the possibility of acquiring Vladimir Guerrero Jr. if Vladimir Guerrero Jr. becomes available. So we will see what comes from that. But, thanks to Rob Manfred, they're only a couple games out of the wild card. So, a couple tweaks and they're right in this bitch. Good job, Rob. Number 1 for me is Xavier Howard. Former Miami Dolphins corner, sending sexually explicit images to a teenager who is the son of one of his exes after she refused to get an abortion. Yikes. This reminds me of the Anthony Edwards story from a few months ago. Now, he didn't send sexually explicit images, but he threatened and sent menacing texts to the woman who was carrying his child and wondering when she was going to get an abortion and asking for pictures of said abortion. So nice. That definitely... That
classy guy.
Yeah, that brought back some memories. That brought back some really nasty memories from Xavier Howard. Really, that's just atrocious behavior. Xavier Howard, you are my alleged superstar of the week. Number 2, the U.S. men's national team. Now we're talking about sports, right? 5-1 against Colombia in a friendly. 5-1. This is the team, right? This is the team that's supposed to be, contending for a World Cup in 2026. Get the fuck out of here with that. Get out of here with that. Matt Turner was absolutely awful. At what point do you say, "Hey, it's not your night, Matt"? Hockey, it's a totally different animal, right? You have a constant string of substitutions, and you can switch goalies whenever you want, right? In soccer, it counts against your total substitutions. They could have gone to Sean Johnson. Sean Johnson's more than capable, right? He absolutely could be. But they stuck with Turner. The rest of the team did not perform. As usual, Greg Berhalter, this ain't it. This ain't it. You got to figure it out. You have about a year and a half to figure this shit out before we get embarrassed on a world stage. Probably again. But I'm editorializing there. U.S. men's national team, you are my alleged superstar of the week. And then last but not least, Apple TV and the idea of interviewing mic'd up players as they are playing. Kike Hernandez was being interviewed in the Dodgers Yankees game. And as he's being interviewed, there's ground ball to third, Kike boots it. Why? Because he's not focused, because he's talking to these numbnuts who are friggin' asking him questions in the Apple TV interview as he's playing the game. It's not the All-Star game. This game counts. It's not an exhibition where you can mic up Liam Hendricks and he can just curse up a storm while he's pitching. These games matter. So please, save that crap, because that's what it is. It's crap. Save it for another time. I don't want my players mic'd up. I don't want to know about... Do a produced piece. Do a package on a player. I don't need to hear managers during the game. I don't need to hear coaches during the game. I don't need to hear players during the game. Fuck, I don't need to hear umpires during the game. I want to see the game. As soon as TV gets that through their thick skulls, maybe, just maybe, baseball will be popular again. The people who are turning into the game are tuning in to see the game. Apple TV and the media. Oh, the media is back. You are my alleged superstar of the week. And a bonus one, the fans. Why? Why, oh why, are you sending death threats via DMs to players whose games you bet on? That's fucked up. That's absolutely ridiculous. I believe Bryce Harper has been the subject of that. And he's not the only one. Do better. Just do better. If this is where we're going, I don't like it. So, I don't know what the future holds. I don't know who's got to step in. I don't know if it's got to be legislation. I don't know. I don't know how you fix this. But you can't be sending death threats to players who cost you money because they lose at a sport. They're not trying to lose. Well, most of them are. Fans, you are my alleged superstar of the week. Do better. For God's sake, do better. I think we've said our piece. Go to our X account at FadeRouteDNZ. Go to our Instagram poll at FadeRoutePodcast and vote. And vote, and vote, and vote. And for our nominees.
Just do better, boys. Just do better.
This has been The Fade Route with DNZ. Thanks for tuning in. Catch our podcast on Wednesday nights on iTunes, iHeartRadio, Spotify, wherever you listen to your podcasts. So until next time, stay faded, everyone.
Time for us to run the go route. We'll talk to you next week.
Thanks for listening to this episode of our podcast. If you like what you heard and want to hear more, be sure to like and subscribe on your favorite podcast platform. Rate us 5 stars, leave us a review, turn on subscription notifications, and tell your friends. Spread the word, spread it wide.